The Eve Echo's development team at NetEase are notoriously tight-lipped when it comes to where the game is going and what they're actually working on, and it's been that way for quite a while. Wasn't always that way, might I add. So it's always a nice surprise when the Eve Echo's development roadmap over on Trello gets an update that lets us know what's actually going on and what new features are being worked on. Of course, we do have the weekly developer Q&A sessions and things like the Discord AMAs and roundtables that the developers occasionally do, but the phrase "in the future" has become somewhat of a meme at this point in time, to the point where it essentially means almost nothing. The concept of, "oh, we'll be doing this in the future" could be any time between now and the theoretical heat death of the universe. And simply put, it just really doesn't tell us anything. There have been so many things that have been displayed for in the future for years now. The Yanjung ships and weapons, for example, small ship content, new stuff coming to the game, even smaller things like storage containers for your stations, or the ability to rename ships have just been in the future, in the future, in the future, on the map maybe sometime in the future. Anyway, we do have an update to the developer's roadmap on Trello. I will put a link to it in the description, so let's jump right in. And please, if you do enjoy this video, let me know by hitting like on it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course, I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below on what you think to some of these changes. Obviously, this is all still very vague, and, well, I have my interpretations, you may have your own. So, here we now are, well, here we have the Trello roadmap where we currently are, January 2023. Now, first of all, it lists the Starry Night flight. This is the whole capital design competition. And whilst I think it's cool to get the community involved in something like this, I am still bitter that it is yet more capital content. And for those of you who continue to insist on, "oh, but that's kind of the point, I'm loving capitals," what you're missing is the fact that I don't care if you're enjoying capitals. Like, it's great that you're enjoying capitals. Seriously, I am unironically pleased for people who are having fun with capital ships. That's really cool. The downside to it is this game is currently dying, and capitals are doing nothing to assist and aid that at all. In fact, they are making the situation worse. It's like sitting there, I guess, kind of like having a patient in a hospital who is currently dying from lung cancer, and instead of the doctors treating it, they're going, "well, tell you what, let's put you in a nice, comfortable, asbestos-lined room and give you some cigarettes to make you feel better." It's great if you enjoy the cigarettes and you like the smell of asbestos, but you're not fixing the problem, you're actively making it worse. That's the developers, not you as the players. I'm glad you're enjoying capitals, but yeah. It's worth mentioning, I have nothing against people who want to fly capitals, and the common argument leveled against me is, "oh, you just don't enjoy capitals, you hate it because you don't enjoy it." No, I hate it because it is destroying the game. You are pushing everyone into extraordinarily large ships, you are making a pay-to-win situation where the team that has the most capitals wins, and capitals are primarily gotten at this point in time through payments. And of course, if both fleets have 30 capital ships, and one of those fleets is predominantly using the blue nanocores available in games, and the other are using souped up full-on purple nanocores bought at the Illusory Ghost and things like that, and implants that have been paid and purchased for to get all the way up to level 40, you know which side has the considerable advantage in that fight, and it is considerable. Anyway, that's all out of the way. The 5th level of Dormant Realm, yes, we've just seen this, and I will have a video on that soon. I intend to jump into that and see if it is actually as good for small ships as, you know, NetEase seem to think it is, because they're still allowing battleships and lower in there, and to my mind, that still creates a situation where the meta is going to be the big ships. Brand new implants, we've already seen the mining implant and the missile implant. Again, I'd like to cover those in a future video at some point as well. I don't know if there are more on the way, but those two, at least, we have those so far. New Eden recruitment. Again, these recruitment are the lowest effort things I've ever seen. It's just a returning players thing that you get bonuses and they get bonuses. It doesn't actually do anything to really tie new players in. Like, if you're a new player joining this game, you're going to sit there and go, oh cool, I can get some free stuff to help my friends and I can jump in and get some cool free stuff. But it's still going to be almost a year before I can fly the Tech 10 ships that everyone else is flying. That's a big time investment, a big cost investment. Nah, I'm going to go go play something else. That is one of the key problems we have in Echoes right now, and nothing has been done to address this whatsoever. Concord Pass Season 15, surprise surprise, and a store update. Splendid coupons, implant packs, and premium ship skins. Yay, more things to spend our money on. Thank you, NetEase. So what's coming in February? Well, we have the Valentine's Day event. This is usually the Guardians Gala, and this has been interesting in the past. I imagine we'll get some cool skins, probably some nanocores. There'll be, I imagine, some PvE missions to do, which at this point are basically the same missions that we're all doing anyway, just with a slight theme variation. If that's what you like, then cool, and I've got to give NetEase credit that at least they're doing something to liven up PvE, if only giving you different text at the beginning and end of it. And finally, new gameplay, Corpse versus Corpse. This is an unusual one, and I don't think it says anything. No, nothing in the actual notes there, just an activity, new gameplay, Corpse versus Corp. Obviously, war is Corpse versus Corpse. The war between like Void and Silence and all that, that's Corpse versus Corpse. I imagine this is like an arena thing where you're not fighting for your own glory, but that of your corporation or alliance. That would be cool. Having more reasons to actually queue up for faction war games and stuff like that could be cool, although again, it does take players away from the real universe and puts them into queued instances where destruction doesn't matter, which doesn't help industry, another one of the core problems of the game. And again, does it do anything for new players? We'll have to see. That's just my opinion. I don't know what that is, new gameplay, Corpse versus Corpse, but I just imagine it's going to be an arena where you get basically corporation leaderboards. March 2023, brand new event. This is normally when we'd have the hunt around about March, April, and that's the Easter event does make sense that later. Brand new event, something for March, I don't know. Is there a big festival in March that's tied to? There's nothing in EVE Online as far as I can think of off the top of my head. But that could be cool. A golden nanocore, I imagine that's golden age nanocore. It could be golden quality, which we have seen before. The Praxis 2 core was golden at one point. Just another tier of nanocores for people to spend on and go for. Again, it's cool in concept, but ends up being a pay-to-win monstrosity if that's the case. I don't want to be all doom and gloom here. I'm trying to look at this as objectively as possible, but you have to understand, my major concern right now is for the health of the game, and I'm still just not seeing anything that is actually growing the game or, bringing back the hundreds, thousands at this point of players that we've lost. We've got veterans leaving all over the place and just no real amount of new players actually sticking around to join them. S7 is also an interesting thing here because we've got Concord Pass Season 15 in January, but S7 in 2023. That doesn't appear to be a Season 7. I'm not entirely certain what that means. Do we have an S6 further back here at all somewhere? I don't see anything. S5 was in September, Mid-Autumn event and Battle Pass 12. I don't see where Season 6 was. I guess that's possibly the shipbuilding stuff, where you have that leaderboard for who's building the most stuff. That seems the most likely there. Competition, like the building competition Season 7. I don't know. Are we on 7 of those already? That could be what that is. It, again, doesn't say anything if we tap into the notes on it, just activity, which is, real useful. I shouldn't complain. We've got information at least, and something is better than nothing, even if that something is ridiculously opaque, obtuse, and impossible to read into. Concord Pass Season 16, to be expected. April 2023, new update, Corporation Month. Who knows what that means? Again, Corporation Month could be all kinds of stuff. I imagine it's going to be some event where Corporation is going to be competing against each other for various different things. A attempt to get people to drop more citadels, drop more capture layer outposts, go to war with each other, that kind of thing. And that's cool. If that's what that is, that's pretty cool. Easter event, that will be The Hunt. This will be the third one of these we've had now. First one was okay, second one was okay, third one I imagine is going to be pretty much the same, and then we get S8. Don't know what that is. I'm thinking Samsung Galaxy every time I see it, but who knows what it is, we'll find out. followed by new implants. This to me suggests that what we're seeing here in January are just the implants we currently have, that we're not going to be getting any more in January. April will be a new wave of implants. Will it be just 2 like we currently have, or are they going to be ones that add on to the existing weapons that we already have? Like, for example, we now have 3 missile ones. Are we going to get a 3rd drone, laser, railgun, and cannon implant? And are these just going to be flat out better than the previous 2, pushing you to essentially having spent all that money on your current implant to go out and buy a new one and spend a whole ton of money on a 3rd one? The jaded person in me suggests that's how this is going to work, because there's so much evidence for that happening in the past. I hope I'm wrong. I hope these are some really cool creative implants. Are they going to be things like mining? Again, I hope not. I do believe genuinely the current mining implant is not a good thing for the game. It just exacerbates the bad situation that industry and mining is currently in by essentially saying, hey, the big spenders now control the market even more by being able to level up this implant to ridiculousness by swiping a credit card and just being better than everyone else. Not a good thing to be in, really. Allows those people to push those ore prices down even further. Not a good thing. What other implants could we really have at this point? I know industry, like, people are saying, oh, we'd love more industry implants. Implants are supposed to be an active thing that you use in your ship. I can't see them doing, like, a shipbuilding implant or a reverse engineering implant. It just doesn't really make sense under the current situation of how implants work. So I imagine this is going to be new weapon ones. I don't think we're going to see a Yan Zheng decomposer implant in here yet. Could be a generic implant that affects weapons across a multitude of different ships, that isn't just lasers or railguns, but instead does something that affects all of them. I don't know. I doubt it. I imagine it's just more weapon implants. May. Coming into summer then, we have Starry Night Flight Part 2, again, design a capital. My worry is that that is going to be aiming towards now looking at things like Titans and super capitals, which would be the final nail in the Eve Echo's coffin lid, I believe. New equipment suggests that, again, we're pushing towards that kind of thing. New equipment before has meant things like salvages. I just don't really see what equipment is still to be there, other than perhaps things like stasis grapplers. I don't know. There are some things like micro jump drives that could still be added, but new equipment, I don't know. New equipment before I would have suggested would be high angular weaponry for dreadnoughts, but we already have that, so who knows what that could be? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Would love to know what you think that new equipment could be, or rather what you hope that new equipment could be. Concord Pass Season 17 in May. Then in June, we get new ship. Not new ships, just new ship. Now, that could be a typo. It is entirely possible that's a typo and they're just saying new ship for multiple. But if it is just one, I get the feeling that that's going to be the Caldari attack battlecruiser with large missiles that they've been teasing, which, again, super not excited about, but I did an entire video on why that is a freaking awful idea to add it to the game. Look at it this way, CCP, the people who designed EVE Online originally, had the Naga as an attack battlecruiser that used large missiles. You had the Tornado for large turrets, you had the, I want to say the Moros, it's not the Moros, the Talos for large railguns, you have the Oracle for large lasers, and then the Naga was going to be large missiles. I spoke to CCP Swift about this months and months and months ago and said, you know, why did that not come to pass? And he just said it was impossible to balance. It either completely replaced entire swathes of ships, it was too good and replaced everything else, or it was just awful and no one flew them. It was impossible to balance despite our best efforts, so we just made it a railgun one with the idea that the snub-nosed and rifled would be different between the Naga and the Talos. So I hope it's not that. I equally hope it's not going to be Titans and super carriers, because, oh boy, that's, yeah. I'm not going to go into the details on that. I would genuinely hope that this could be something like the assault frigates, like having the Wolf, for crying out loud, Rifter Assault. The Rifter, a ship that is described as being EVE Online's most iconic vessel, to the point that CCP have just updated its model for EVE Online, and it looks amazing. In EVE Echoes, it's a tier 2 frigate that you use for maybe 30 minutes to an hour at the start of the game, and you'll never touch again except for the memes. I would love to see them do some things with some of those older, unloved hulls. It could be things like the Tier 3 destroyers, the Jackdaw, the Svipal, etc. It could even be Tier 3 cruisers, but I doubt it, because again, there's just no content for a Tier 3 cruiser. We do have the sort of teasing towards Tier 3 cruisers, though, with the ability for nanocores to modify ship fittings. Like, there's a nanocore now that obviously you get that additional mid-slot. So the fact that we can modify the slot output on a ship does suggest that Tier 3 cruisers could be a thing at some point in the future. I doubt that's it. I would hope that that is just a load of missing ships to the roster, specifically the Tier 10 assault frigates. I would love it to be a load of lower tier ships as well, just to really pad out what is going on there. I would love it to be a complete overhaul of the entire tech tree, if I'm being completely honest, but it's not going to happen. I'm pretty sure that is either the Caldari attack battle cruiser that they've teased, or the or Titans and super carriers, which would just, oh god. If you think I'm already moving away from Eve Echoes, the day that happens is the day I genuinely quit. Finally, then, it could also be the Yanjung, but I kind of get the feeling that they would have written Yanjung on there if it was that. So still no sign of them. Yay! This game launched back in, what, June? Soft launch? June 2020? Here we are 3 years later, still no sign of the faction that they said was going to be the big thing in Echoes that made it super awesome and cool and different to EVE Online. 3 years, they have done nothing with it. July 2023, new formative gameplay. Now, again, this could mean one of two things, both of which are genuinely quite exciting, and this is something I'm very keen to see. I'll be watching and waiting for July with bated breath. New formative gameplay could mean towards, forming as in new players, formative as in new players, so new gameplay for new players, something desperately needed like a year ago, but hey, at least it could be coming. If that is something like that, that could be really cool to help new players out. I get the feeling, again, that this is probably more an overhaul of like a new system for PvE or things like that. Like just redoing some of the AI and stuff, and maybe redoing how encounters work. Again, a long time coming if that is it, but we just don't know. I would love it to be either of those things, but I could be completely wrong. Let me know your thoughts down below. August brings us into the anniversary event, the 3rd anniversary. Of course, it was August 2023, August 2020 that the game officially launched. Anyway, anniversary event coming on. These are usually pretty cool. There's often a lot of cool stuff happens during those. 6th level of the Dormant Realm. Slightly concerned that we've got new ships in June and then a new Dormant Realm in 2023. That is kind of what happened with the, capitals, getting capitals, this push for new capitals, and then suddenly we had capital Dormant Realms. I'd be worried that that is going to be new ships, Titans, and then Dormant Realm that allows those in it, because, yeah, you want something to do with a ship that costs that much, right? I don't know, it could be Small Ship 1, that would be awesome, and yet more implants. Again, what could those be? I don't know. My only thought at this point is that they're weapon implants, at which point we're either going to get a wave of them, like 2 out of the 4 that are missing earlier on in the year, and then the remainder in August, or it could be yet another wave, so we end up with 4 loads of laser implants, 4 loads of missile implants, 5 loads of missile implants, 4 loads of railgun, 4 loads of cannon, stuff like that. I just don't know. We would have to see how that goes. Implants are something I'm still very much on the fence about. I love the concept of them. I just dislike how difficult they are to get, especially if you are a newer player, and the sheer amount of variance that they add to the game. The fact that some of those implants make ships ridiculously powerful, that you just compare it to a ship with an implant and to without an implant, there's no competition whatsoever, which once again means you kind of have to swipe in order to be competitive, because they're not easy to upgrade until you hit Tech 10. Even then, they're not easy to upgrade, but until you're Tech 10, what are you really going to do to get implant materials, right? Like, how do you do that? Anyway, folks, those are my thoughts. That's as far as the Trello goes. Obviously, that is, another 7 months away from what we currently have. A lot of cool stuff in there, some really quite exciting stuff, some stuff that I know I'm building up my hopium again. I'm overdosing on hopium just to be disappointed, but we'll see how it goes. I want to be positive about this. There's some interesting stuff in there. I want to see what those new ships are. I want to see what this S7, S8 actually is. The new implants could be fun. I don't like implants, but they could be fun. Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what they actually do with all of this. Still no sign of the Yanjung, still no sign, possibly, of smaller ships, you know, the new filling out the missing smaller ships and stuff like that. No sign of wormholes or an update to exploration. Stuff that needs to happen, but I don't know. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. I want to be positive. Give me your positivity on what you think these things could be in a new, exciting way. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Thank you for your support. Happy sailing, and see you in New Eden.